a legendary car. Desperately not trying to unlock that right now because it is great. And the Goliath, right? What Horizon game is complete without an epic, many miles long race around the map? So you can do all of that at the main festival. And each one of those we call a new chapter. So earning enough accolades unlocks a new chapter, and I can choose to kind of spend my new chapter. Like my new chapter is going to be Vocho or it's going to be Goliath.
And the great thing about this is as we talk about this Horizon adventure, it's that every player really will have a pretty unique path through this game. And when you're talking to other people, they'll be like, oh, so which festival site did you open first? And you might say you've opened up the Apex Festival and you've gone and got stuck into road racing, and that will shape the way your game plays out for a decent length of time after that. But maybe I go to the Wilds Festival and I've gone all dirt racing, and again, that makes that next hour, 2 hours of my game completely different to yours, and the opportunities that come after that, because then I could go and unlock different showcase events, different Horizon stories because I've made that choice. It really does lead to this really sprawling, different split path gameplay that means everyone's adventure through the campaign will be different to each other's.
Yeah, and not just based on kind of choice of I really like road racing or I like dirt racing, but there's different ways that people like to play games as well. Some people, they'll want to open Horizon Apex, and then because they're kind of a completionist, they'll be like, well, I'm doing all of the content there before I move on. Whereas some other people they'll open Apex, then they'll open Wilds, then they'll open Baja, then they'll open Rush. It's kind of giving people the freedom, and we deliver it with this awesomely cute, adorable map. So I think we're going to go on an adventure, and I think we're going to open a new outpost, right? That's the plan.
That's the plan, but we're not there yet. We have to get some accolades first,
yes.
Right? You mentioned accolades. What are accolades, Ben? I don't know. I'm sure Charlie doesn't know either. Tell us what they are.
I don't know either. Actually, no, I do know. So let's go through
Mike,
that. Right.
I hope you know what they are.
Yeah.
Hopefully someone here knows. Marco?
Hands up, I do know what accolades are. So as you can see at the top of the screen there, it tells us how many we need to earn for our next chapter. So we're going to go into the accolades menu, and we are going to see tons of categories, and really importantly, thousands of accolades. Caveat here, we're not asking the players, and we don't expect players to complete every single accolade in the game. What we are saying is, whatever you like to do, there'll be a good collection of accolades for you. It might be that you like to do a bunch of racing, and you like to do some PR stunts and some skills as well. It might be that you like to do just kind of online stuff, and we've got a whole bunch of categories in there. That's the kind of beauty of accolades, and they extend beyond the campaign. So once you've reached the Hall of Fame, so you've unlocked everything on the adventure map, and you might think, oh, what else is there to do? Accolades are this beautiful way of having this collection of bite-sized challenges that let you kind of mop up the things that you still haven't done and just extend your game. And I think we'll extend it in the ways we have done with Forza Horizon 4, where we're delivering new content on like a weekly and kind of monthly basis. These will plug into this really well.
Yeah, so it's not super clear as we look at the screen right now, but that little blue bar that you can see just creeping up on the Welcome to Mexico tile there, that is actually a progress bar that fills up and completes the whole thing and completes that whole page. As we stand right now, about half an hour into our campaign, you can see that it's basically all zeros and we haven't done anything yet. And it does at the start of the game fill up quite slowly, but once you've put in that sort of 6 to 10 hours, these all start to get quite near the top, and you're like looking at that Horizon Stories one, going, oh, I've only actually got a few left there, and it's super compelling to just go and finish that off and push them up to the top and fill up those bars.
Very Moorish.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a great word for it.
So, Marco loves racing, lives for racing. Marco fancies doing some racing. We'll have a look at racing.
Oh, my God.
Oh no. Many locked accolades. And we need to go and build the Horizon Apex outpost. So let's go and do that. Welcome to Mexico is a nice small collection of kind of early game accolades. We have a few, like we've arrived at the festival. We can purchase a car from the auto show. We can also take part in a bunch of routes. If I select this one now, it will pin it to my HUD and set my route, and we can drive to go and do that. But before we kind of go back into game, I'm going to open the map just to explain that one of the main ways to play through a Horizon campaign is to go around and look at things on the map. And I think early campaign, we would expect many players to go through this is the kind of regular Horizon way. Map, piece of content, set your route there, take part in the content. What are you going to do next? Let's take part in this, and we'll go there and do it. But if I go back to free roam now, we can see that we have a pin, Horizon Mexico Circuit Rookie, complete Mexico Circuit, and I think we should head off and do it.
Without question, our best festival yet. It's got some amazing features. It's got a drag strip running through the middle of it. It's got an awesome hangout, like car meet space, which is called the Horizon Tour. You can go out there, you can show off your cars, you can show off your cool liveries, hang out with other people and group up and go and do some racing. it's also built into an abandoned racing circuit. So all of this like sort of web of roads that you can see now is an awesome abandoned race circuit, or at least it was abandoned until Horizon Festival arrived to breathe fresh life into it. And now, Marco, I'll let you do it now, Marco. If you're going to go drive over to the start location for the Horizon Festival circuit.
You are released.
I'm going to go across the field.
Just straight
Yeah,
up
that's
front.
the only way.
Yeah.
That's the best way.
Corvette in its natural habitat there, going across
absolutely fine.
the embankment.
It's a bit bumpy. There you go. Arrive there.
All right, and
I'm ready
here
for
is
race.
our target. This is where we're going to go and get accolades so we can start our adventure.
Well, he really struggled in rehearsal. So.
I know. Do we admit that our finely tuned campaign balance requires a win? Otherwise,
the way that we have set this up for the demo purposes, yes.
No pressure,
anything less
guys,
than a win will actually really ruin the rest of the show, Marco.
You
So it'd be
did
really great
say
if
you
could
were
win.
better than Andy.
No pressure,
and
absolutely.
Andy won last stream, so I do think, you owe us a win here, Marco.
I'm going to try my best. So,
As always, you are on a wheel. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah.
So, I think what we really did this time is actually investing and improving the wheel experience. And what we did is actually improving the handling and focusing on the force feedback code implementation to actually capture more details and create a whole new experience when you're driving with the wheel. And you can tell right now, I literally lost the back end, and the wheel told me immediately, and I could catch the car quite easily. By the way, I'm on simulation steering and traction control off, so just to make it a little bit tougher. And here we are. I can definitely feel everything that this car is doing. I feel connected with the road. I feel every single detail on the ground. And if I put a wheel on the off-road a little bit, oh, there you go. It feels immediately diverse. And that diversity is different across all cars, across all tires. And that's really important. Actually, really, really expand the experience and the engaging when you're driving with the steering wheel. And now, let's get back to the race, guys, because I'm still sixth, and apparently I've been told I got to win this race, so got to put some effort in it. Oh, here you go, another thing, the braking. The braking have massively improved. So we're now basically calculating the brake force based on how big the discs are, how many pots there are on the brake disc system, if it's a disc, if a ceramic disc, is a cast iron, is a drum disc. And we also improve a lot the way the ABS system works all up. So modern ABS now, rather than completely cut off the brake when a lockup is detected, actually mitigate and like ease off the brake so you can still preserve some brake pressure and reduce the brakes distance. But these guys are really giving me a challenge. And
They're giving you a
I
go,
really
aren't
need
they?
to close the gap. So now I need to focus, guys, because the Skyline ahead of me is definitely using some turbos. And I'm on an
Ask you some questions,
old-fashioned.
Charlie. Quiz him, Charlie.
Yeah, in fact, you know what? I'm going to go off a little bit here. I think there are a couple of people in chat who are asking, you personally, Marco, if you have a preference of just playing on this camera, because I think some of them would be keen for you to change it. Obviously, I want you to thrive the best way you thrive, but do you have a preference for this camera over the wheel over others?
I do, actually. I do prefer to drive from this camera. I think you have a better indication of what the car is doing. But, I follow many YouTubers. I'm sure they're following us right now. Bye. And yeah, I really actually, I'm impressed how, guys, you drive from follow cam. And yeah, touche. I much prefer driving from this camera, to be honest. These or the hood camera is actually another good option for driving with the wheel. You feel more connected with the car is doing.
Perfect. So you mentioned that you've improved the brake system. I have to ask, as someone who is sort of, when I play Forza, I'm very much on the off-road style of the racing and hooning around. So what improvements have you made to off-road handling?
Well, that actually is a very, very big topic. I think higher level, we improved both the suspension and the tires. For the suspension, we actually went to town and improved a lot about the preload spring force, but not only the progressiveness of the damper and the progressiveness of the bump stop as well. We actually have hydraulic bump stop and everything that actually goes in really, really low amount of detail for what concerns the suspension for off-roading and rally as well. Another big improvement we've done to the off-road as a whole is actually we're now simulating the interaction between the tires and all the different surfaces on the ground. that actually massively changed the way tires feel when you're off-road, depending on if you're on slick or if you're on rally tires or if you are on normal radial tires or bias ply. Every single tire's got a different reaction with the ground. And you can totally feel that through the pad, but now with the wheel as well.
We did come second then. So what does that mean, guys in the studios? Are we able to progress?
Well,
we had to do a little cheat while we weren't showing the game there, but that's okay.
That's okay. Sorry, guys.
I just wanted to call it out.
we are, however, now all good, and we're in a position where we can start our adventure.
Perfect. Okay.
So, I think we have a feeling where we want to go. There was a lot of talk about Horizon Apex and road racing. Yeah, so let's talk about how we build an outpost. So we don't just select Horizon Apex here and then it just gets added to the world and all the race events are there. No, what we do is we undertake what we call an expedition towards this festival. So here we go. This expedition for Apex is a Tullum expedition, weather a storm on the road to Tullum. So we're going to start this, and we're going to have an expedition become available to us, which we are going to take part in with a little bit of a surprise twist, ideally. But what is an expedition? It's a really nice combination of kind of story and showcase-driven cinematic gameplay where you'll learn about the environment around you, you'll learn new things about Mexico, and kind of Ramiro will lead you towards the perfect destination for this outpost. So let's unlock that and head back into World.
I got tons of things I want to ask before we get there. So one thing I do want to know is, you know, it's a campaign, so you sort of have to ask the question of roughly how long you think the campaign might take for a player to finish. Obviously, I'm incredibly skilled, so I might be really, really quick. But what on average are we looking at?
So because there are so many accolades, and you can do them in parallel, and earning accolades, as we kind of said, they control the speed of your experience. I think giving a really narrow estimate is difficult, but it's going to be somewhere between the 10 and the 20-hour mark for most players. There's 20 chapters to go through, so kind of 20 pieces of content, including the very end, the Hall of Fame, and they should take somewhere between an hour to half an hour each to unlock.
Interesting. Okay. And I want to go back to the accolades very quickly as well. I think it's worth calling out. There was so many in there. And I just want to be clear. Do you have to complete all of those to make it into the Hall of Fame? Or is that more of a completionist style play?
Yeah, so you don't have to complete all of them. We don't expect players to complete all of them. Instead, our goal was to we wanted to make sure there were a good number of accolades for kind of every Horizon player, regardless of what you're into. So if you're into painting and you don't like a huge amount of the other content in the game, or it's not your kind of favorite, then there are a number of painting accolades. But we don't expect someone who never paints cars, who never kind of uploads designs or anything like that, to want to go and earn those accolades. It's fine if they do earn them. It's fine if you're the Horizon player who does everything, but it's not been designed in that way. You can earn the accolades that you want by doing the gameplay that you want, and that will give you enough currency to progress through the adventure, to reach those new chapters and unlock it in the order that you want. And
then you can go back and mop everything up afterwards, because all you want to do is keep playing.
Exactly. That's the really nice thing about accolades, is even when you've hit the Hall of Fame and you've unlocked kind of all of the like flagship pieces of content, so the stories, the showcases that Mike was talking about, the new outposts, accolades they make your job of looking at what's left in the game and deciding what should you do next really, really easy, because you might see a whole bunch of content and think, oh, I want to play some, but I don't know what to do. And then you look at accolades and it says, win all of this kind of piece of content over here. And you're like 90% of the way through. And that's like a really easy decision at that point.
Lovely. And I have to ask as well, going back to the exhibitions as well, what was the thought process behind sort of making those? Obviously, in the last one in fall, we had showcases and remixes and stuff like that. But this is obviously a natural step up from that. So what was it like working on the exhibitions?
That is an interesting question.
It stemmed from Mexico, didn't it? It was when we settled on Mexico as the host location. When you go and and this sounds a bit silly, when you go and look at the tourist board website for Mexico, they really sell this idea of going on an adventure and going exploring and going and living your next adventure in Mexico. That is a thing that Mexico as a country, Mexican people are really, really proud of about their country. And that was an experience that we thought, well, how can we recreate that in the game? And we thought, well, we start off in one place of Mexico and we can kind of have people live out those adventures as they venture out into those different parts of Mexico. So yeah, there's a little bit of showcase in there. There's a little bit of Horizon story in there, but they are really their own brand new thing. And they are one of the most exciting bits of gameplay we've ever had. What's more fun about it as well is that, as with everything in the Horizon campaign, you can play it in co-op.
Here we go. Oh God.
Away we go.
Away we go, yes.
Bravo Niner, this is Horizon Bravo Niner. Do you read me?
Now we're all going to have to pay close attention now. And there's,
Yeah, I'm listening.
And keep up.
I think for the most part, we're probably going to shut up for this and let the game do the talking.
I know just the spot to expand the festival, but the path takes us through the deepest part of the jungle. Do you trust me?
Of course. Wait, why would I not?
Then follow the road. I will guide you from the air. And pray the weather holds. Is it just me? Or does that sky
I
look
love the chat.
glorious?
That storm over there looks so mean.
You've got a question whether we should be driving towards that.
Welcome to Teotihuacan. We are slightly too late for this festival, I'm afraid. The name means place of the roads of the gods. Going left here. Looks like we've got the storm god's attention.
Rami, are you sure we should be heading into this storm?
A bit of rain is nothing to fear, my friend. The Maya know that too well. It is said that Jack Straight's lining at the clouds and rain will fall.
And you're doing okay up there?
Don't worry, I am still in complete control. Actually, I am not in complete control.
Oh no no no
You know
no.
what? Let's not fly directly into that storm. Horizon Bravo Niner, anchoring down in the jungle.
One of those things where it's clearly not a race, but yet you still have to race.
Yo, yeah, absolutely. I saw that, Marco.
Touchdown.
Ramiro, are you okay?
Never better. Any landing you walk away from is a good one. I'm down next to some kind of flooded temple. I'll send them a flare. No one's been here in a while. Look, even the excavations are abandoned. An expedition to a lost city, rediscovered by you, Ramiro Luis Miron, and the Horizon Festival.
Hey Rami, I think I'm gonna take a look around. Find somewhere to put the beacon.
Do not let me interrupt your Mesoamerican history lesson, my friend. You can come and get me when you're ready.
So this bit drops the pace a little now. So that first bit was obviously quite high octane. We were chasing Rami in his plane. We were heading out towards the jungles, but we found this ancient ruins site now, and we're heading out to have a little bit of a little moment to explore, to soak it in, to see what secrets we can find.
This has been here for
Stunning.
thousands of years.
Any eagle-eyed viewers will know that this is one of the ruins we went through in one of the very early episodes of these live streams as well.
I think I found just the place for that Horizon Pulse radio beacon.
Yeah, so I really like the change of pace in this. It's one of my favourite things about expeditions. These exploration zones, I think they're just really nice to really soak in the atmosphere.
Beacon is up and transmitting. Work.
Yeah,
Now
so we've
at
got
least
that
someone
list of
knows
challenges
where
on
we
the side
are.
of the screen there. They are optional. You don't have to do them if you just want to blast through and get back to the drive. But it's definitely more fun if you do them.
Absolutely.
So I've found the photo point, guys. If you want to come over and we'll all
I think
pose.
I found the golden statue.
Oh, I want to join in.
I mean, this is actually 6-player co-op, Charlie. So if if you were in
Maybe
the building,
next
yeah, we
time.
could have done it. We
Maybe
could have
next
handed
time
you a
we'll
pad.
fashion away, because I've not played yet and I'm absolutely desperate.
I'll take a photo.
You want me to go through photo mode to take it?
Yeah.
We lined up nicely? Oh, no, Marco's
Marco's
Do it.
he's
struggling.
he's doing his own
Guys,
thing.
it's not that easy.
All right. Here we go.
There you go.
Let's get this lined up nicely. One to remember the
Oh,
stream.
look at that. That's a great shot.
we should clarify that you should definitely not read anything into that number on screen right now. That is very much from a dev build and not a thing that you should read too much into.
Okay.
Right, let's have an explore around. We need to get to the top of the central ruin.
This music's stunning, by the way. The atmosphere that it's building is so nice.
Wow, Rami. I think I found one of the statues.
Don't touch it. It's very
I think
powerful.
we found another. My buddies, however, are elsewhere, so
Are you not? I thought you wanted to get to the top of the central ruin. That's what you said.
I
Sound
did,
here, I'm
I
waiting
did,
for
I
you.
did, and then shiny things, Mike. Shiny things in the corner of my eye. You can't not go for shiny
Line up
things.
for a
Oh,
jump.
you told me to take a
Over the
picture.
top of the ruin.
Here we go. You're not just waiting for me to land on the top. Oh, that was
There you go.
Oh, very
Totally
nice.
over the pair of you.
Barn out there. We'll check it out later. There's the plane and our exit.
You pick up the feed, guys, isn't it? The Rami had to take an emergency landing. We had to then go. We kept him waiting a little bit while we explored the temples, but yeah, we went and picked him up, and we carry on. I'm sure they'll be fine. That's nothing to worry about.
It's nothing for these cars, is it?
So we accidentally fell through that hole. We've landed in this little like cave, this little cenote.
Yeah. It's gorgeous in here, full of atmosphere. I'm just going to have a little look around before. I should probably catch you two up there now.
Yeah, because this not a race is absolutely a race. We're gonna lose.
And we should know I have driving line off, and I am not the player to have driving line off. This is a recipe for disaster.
You should just follow us. You should just stop being so slow. And
If you can see each other, this storm is intimidating.
We are riders on the storm.
It's great, isn't it? All the foliage
So
blowing
good.
across the screen. I think we saw some lightning strikes.
Roadworks.
Oh my goodness me.
Take a right. I hope you like fun, my friend.
Couldn't like it more. Let's do this.
Hold on. Can I see those photos?
Oh, wow.
Yes, I want to see. I really want to see them. Oh, hey, that one was very close. Go faster, please.
you okay, Charlie?
That lightning is going to make me jump every time I see it. In real life, I'm not a big fan of lightning, but that is so visceral and just right in front of you. It's so cool.
The clouds are breaking. Keep pushing. We're through the worst of it now. Tsuzumi's just around the corner. Welcome to
There
beautiful
it is. You get that
We made
beautiful
it.
view of Tulum.
Thanks to the weather.
Oh,
You're
wow.
right. But now
relax.
these beaches look beautiful.
And there we go.
We have arrived.
You know, I think this will be the perfect spot.
I think you're right, my friend.
Easy to forget the
I
reason we did that
also
was
agree.
to open a new festival site.
Yep. Loads of cool new accolades as well. That'll help us on the way to the next section. Ooh, and a new car.
Oh.
Here we go.
You made it! No thanks to Ramiro, no?
The reason we did that expedition was to build Horizon Apex. The reason we want to build Horizon Apex is we want to unlock a whole load of new road racing events and lead towards all of the kind of stories, showcases, finales that Horizon Apex comes with. So we've previously had a look at accolades in the road racing category. Why don't should we head back there and have a look at what's been unlocked, or should we go through the map? Because the two kind of ways you can play the campaign, really.
I think we should go through the map for now.
All right.
For now.
I know of a really nice circuit up on the East Coast that I think we should go and find.
All right.
So
I think you've got control of Marco's
I
map,
do.
so,
I was looking at you thinking you had control, Mike, but I've got control. Right. I will set a route there and let Marco drive us along the way.
All right.
Perfect. I've also got more questions to ask for Marco about this wheel as well. Specifically, you say that that's your desk, that you live in it. I feel like you're the expert to answer this question, but has the wheel experience and force feedback been improved?
Yes, it has definitely been improved, and it has improved as a consequence of working on the force feedback itself, but also looking at all the micro details that we were missing in terms of calculation of force feedback, and now we definitely like improved a lot in terms of what you feel through your hands. For example, now I'm driving on the asphalt right here, and while the surface actually feels a little bit bumpy, you can also feel some bumpiness coming through the wheel as well, because all the micro oscillation happening on the tire that gets transferred into the steering rack. That is actually really cool. It actually makes you feel connected with the road. But not only, the force distributed on the wheel, we're calculating all the alignment torque, so I can definitely feel what the car is doing, if I'm having understeer, oversteer. Everything, it feels so natural and intuitive and engaging to drive with the wheel now.
Amazing. I love it. I mean, you're probably the guy to answer this question as well. We also recently unveiled the Mercedes AMG and its multiple driving modes. So I want to know what they do to the car and if you can share a bit more insight into that.
So the driving mode is really, really complex, but basically what we've done is actually mimicking everything that's happening on the real car. So when you change in the mode, you can basically switch from proper downforce, biting grip, with the correct front aero balance on the car, to a more relaxed cruising experience into the driving mode that you can switch to. That happens actually on the exact same time and sequence that the real car does. So we really went to town in terms of like capturing every single detail that the car in the real life do in terms of drive mode. It changes the experience, it changes the feeling, it changes the actual physics of the car, and you can really transform when you're driving it. Anyway, no, the way the brake system has improved is actually now we looking at the brake system itself. As I said before, we have now like a more data-driven calculation for the brake system as a separate entity. It's like its own entity rather than calculating the grip as a result of the grip of the car, if you see what I mean. So as a consequence of that, and I think our fan will actually love it, now when you go and upgrade your weak brake car, you see a much bigger jump with the upgrades, which is cool. You can really transform a bit meh car in terms of braking to a phenomenal racing car performance braking now. And that's all thanks about the new brake system. The feeling of braking is more intuitive to drive. You can judge better the brake distance. You can ease off the brake and actually use the trail braking to let the car rotate a little bit more in towards the corner. And it's just better overall. And it feels nice, it's more fun, it's more authentic. So, yeah. Absolutely.
And you're making it look very good as well.
Now I'm trying to win as well.
Say.
So.
I mean, Michael, Ben, can we get a little bit of context on what this race is that we're doing here, where it is on the map? If anyone else has just joined us.
Yeah, so this is the Playa Azul circuit. It's just a little bit north of the festival that we just opened out on the East Coast. It just cuts through the little village of Playa Azul here. It's this real tropical paradise out on the East Coast of the map. It's an absolutely beautiful place. I mean, how much does this just look like that? A perfect holiday resort. And it's got a really great set of corners as well. I think it's one of my favorite circuits. And I've thrown Marco into it as I was messing with the pad while I was getting him ready for this. So I put him in the Supra as well, which you might not have been expecting, but
wasn't expecting that, yeah. Supra is actually great fun to drive. It's more tail happy a little bit. Most of the traction control off, so everything makes a little bit more engaging.
And then I can add to that. Kind of Mike spoke about where this is geographically, how beautiful it is, and how fun it is to drive. Completely agree with all that. And in terms of gameplay, this we're enjoying the fruits of the fact that we did the expedition and opened the new festival outpost, and it was road racing. And this is a new road racing event that we've got. Complete with tons of new accolades to earn to start kind of unlocking more chapters.
I think that's the thing I'm the most excited about. I mean, as someone who is very much trying to get to the finish line of Forza Horizon 4 at the moment, which, by the way, guys, happy to report I only have 8 achievements left in the whole game, and the drift ones are nearly done. I'm getting there. The idea of actually having a whole new map, but also with the addition of these accolades, it feels like I'm going to get this game delivered to me on November 9th or earlier if you get the premium add-on bundle. And there's just so much for me to dive in and sort of access, but I can take it at my own pace and do what I want on any given day. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's a really good summary of it. If Mike doesn't mind me using a term he uses with me quite a bit when we're talking about the game kind of behind the scenes, snackable is the term we use, and that is really a very good way to describe the kind of campaign. It's really, really snackable. You can drop in, you can do a tiny piece of gameplay, which is like we're kind of showing here, one race, get a couple of accolades from that, maybe more if you've done some bonus ones while you've been driving, or you can kind of...
Filthy, Marco. Filthy.
That was
Got to do it. Got to do it.
I was talking about, what was I talking about? Snackable campaign?
Snackable nature of the campaign.
Earn a few accolades from completing and winning a race, or you can sit there and you can decide, like you were saying, Charlie, about you've got a handful of achievements left and then you're going to kind of complete everything. You could look at an entire category like racing or kind of skills and stunts and decide that's what I'm finishing this weekend and I'm just going to sit down and kind of steadily go through them all. That might happen after you've hit the Hall of Fame. I think that's probably the way I would recommend that people play through the game.
Horizon 5, like Horizon 4, is a massive game with absolutely tons of features and content. And honestly, we don't really expect any one player to do it all. That isn't really how we make the game.
I will. Watch this space.
Well, I hope you do, Charlie. I mean, I probably will as well, but it's a regular player who's just downloaded it on Game Pass. We don't expect you to be sinking hundreds of hours necessarily to complete every single accolade in the game. But what we do hope is that every time you do play the game, even if it's only for 10 to 20 minutes, that you feel like you were rewarded. You had a really nice piece of gameplay that was really fun, enjoyable. You felt you get some progress. You unlocked something new. You had a little bit of progress towards the next goal that you're working towards. I think a lot of games can... when they are massive games, can be quite intimidating. They can feel like you've really got to sink hours and hours into them to make any kind of progress. And we really try and build a campaign that, you can sink hours and hours into it and make a load of progress, but you will also get that reward if you're just playing for 15 minutes as well, if I can get my words out.
So what is the car collection screen?
Before we go, any questions for Marco? Throw them at him. Any physics questions, handling questions, anything at all? Go as deep as you like. So we are now looking at the car collection. So as we think about the campaign, we've talked about the kind of initial experience, the accolades, the adventure. All of that stuff carries you through the game from hour 1 to hour 2 to hour 10. But as I just mentioned, some people are going to play the game for hundreds of hours. Some people are going to set out to try and unlock all of the hundreds of cars that are available in Forza Horizon 5. And for those people, the car collection is the perfect place for them. You're getting a look at it now. It feels a bit like a sticker book or a card collection.
That's a great vibe, actually.
Each card is represented by each car is represented by one of these little cards. And as you add that car to your garage, you'll see it flip over and get added into your collection. Each of the manufacturers as well also has a reward associated with it. We'll skip past it now, but with Nissan, for completing all of the Nissans, there was an exclusive Nissan that you can unlock for completing them all. We're now looking at Porsche, and again, I think we'll, if we just click through these and unlock a few of them, you can see there is an exclusive Porsche that can be unlocked there as well. Also, a cool feature of the car collection screen is that you can just hit Y and purchase a car with a click of a button. And just like that, you have spent 1.5 million credits.
Thank God it's not that easy in real life.
As I say, this is it's a lot of fun throughout the game, but it really comes into its own really late game. Once you've sunk in loads of hours and you've got loads of cars already, you go into this screen and just as you look at Porsche there's only 3 that you need to complete the set. It's so compelling to just add them all to your garage and get them all. And then for doing so, you get yourself a Forza Edition 911.